Hi, I'm Mitch Shoemaker, and this is day 62 of my doing 100 days of YouTube videos and focusing on gratitude. So, yay for day 62. That means I have 38 days left to go. Woohoo! I'm getting somewhere. Progress, not perfection. So, I'm not liking day 62. I really thought that when I talked about layers yesterday, and I knew that there were layers and there would be good and bad days, that today was not going to be a bad day, a hard day. But it's feeling like a very hard emotional day. Doing a lot of processing, things like that, and realizing that I have like irrational fears and fears of authority figures because I had scary authority figures in my life, and I've just transferred that to all other authority figures, especially men. So I have all kinds of issues that are running rampant in my brain. and and I came to the realization this evening before I did this video when I was trying to get ready for work, and then I decided to just not do anything after that because I didn't want to deal with my realizations. Um, that I hide, which I already knew. I probably already talked about that, but I realized that when I was growing up and I wanted to do things that were different from other people, I was told that I couldn't because I had to do what everybody else was doing. Or I was told that I wouldn't like certain things or I wouldn't be good at certain things. So why would I want to try those things if I wasn't going to be good at them? So I wasn't given the opportunity to try things. There was also the issues like, oh, we don't have the money for that. Or, I was named after my grandmother, so I had to do whatever my grandmother did, and I couldn't do whatever I wanted to. um, but my grandmother, when she found out about that, she felt really bad and she apologized. And I'm like, she didn't need to apologize. It wasn't her fault. I like being named after my grandmother. I have no issues with that. but um, I had issues with my mother telling me that it was a manipulation thing, a control thing, and it was probably because she needed to do something. I don't know. As an adult, I realize that taking care of kids is a lot harder than it seems, and that we do things that we think are best at the time or in the moment that may not necessarily be good for them. And we don't realize how they interpret that information. And I didn't grow up in an environment that was safe to talk about it or to express how I was feeling. And when I tried to express how I was feeling or tried to say that I wasn't okay with things, I was told that I was okay with things, that I was the good kid and it was okay, and that I didn't, I would understand. So it was okay. And I was like, don't know how many times I have to say it's not okay. So I felt like people didn't listen to me, they didn't hear me, and that if I wanted to do things, I could just sneak off and do it. And as long as nobody knew about it, I was okay. And then I really didn't get in trouble or get punished for things. If I did things, I would, I felt guilty all on my own if I got caught doing things. But I learned that if I wanted to do something different, I had to just kind of do it. So I either wasn't allowed to do anything, so I just laid around and was depressed and did nothing, or I had to go behind, the backs of the authorities or other people to do it. And so I ended up not doing a lot of things, or I ended up, as I've said in the past, daydreaming, creating stories, my own little world where I could be in control and I could do whatever I wanted in my head because I didn't have people telling me that I couldn't do things because I was a girl. I didn't have people telling me I couldn't do things because I wouldn't like them or because nobody else was doing them or because I wouldn't be good at them. So all these things, that were playing in my head, and they're playing in my head today, and lots of triggers and lots of negativity. And all of that negativity is very heavy and it's weighing me down and it's making me not want to do things, and I don't want to deal with it. But I have to deal with it. I have to process it. I have to let it out. I have to let it go. I have to forgive, and I have to change. I have to be willing to respond differently. And I'm struggling with the willing to respond differently parts because those default settings are really ingrained, and it's really easy to just shut down and be like, well, if I can't do what I want to, then I'm not going to do anything. And and then if I do anything good, someone else is going to take over, or someone else is going to take credit for it, or they're just going to take it away, because that is the pattern in my life. So why do things that are good or that I enjoy if people are just going to take it away, or they're going to take credit for it anyway? And I know that's not true of everything. But again, it's that whole, one negative and you have to have 10 positives to outweigh the negative. And I think those negatives have just been so vocal, so strong in my life. They just stand out over everything else, that it's hard for me to see the positive. It's hard for me to see the things that I did accomplish, that I did get to keep, that were mine, because nobody acknowledged those when I was growing up. If I got a 4.0, which I did get a 4.0 like probably once in my life, and I was promised a reward if I did it, which is the only reason I did it, and I worked my butt off and I did it, and I never got the promised reward. I never got anything other than, okay, that's nice. And then when I didn't get a 4.0 again, then I got in trouble for not getting a 4.0. It's like, well, why didn't you do it? You're capable of it. What's wrong with you? And I was like, really? I'm like, what's the point? If the reward doesn't come as promised, what's the point of doing it? I don't understand the point. And I didn't need the grades, so I didn't care. I'm like, seriously. But that was my whole life, if I did the perfect thing, if I did it right, nobody noticed, nobody cared. If I did it wrong, then it was, pounce. You're a horrible person, and what's wrong with you, and why didn't you do this, and yada, yada, yada. And so I just didn't do things. I just shut down. Or when I wanted to do things, I would always, it was like hitting a wall, I was always getting talked out of whatever it was, getting told that I wouldn't enjoy that, we didn't have the money for that I wasn't good at it, or I wouldn't be good at it. And if I wasn't good at it the first time, it's like, see, you're not good at it, you don't get to do it, So it's just kind of like, So I wasn't, given opportunities to do things or try things that were different from what everybody else was doing, because I couldn't afford to do something different, and I liked different things. And not that it was bad that I liked different things. And I understand not being able to afford everything, but I wasn't given opportunities to try things that were different because nobody else was doing it. So then I felt like I had to get someone to go with me to do stuff, because I didn't want to get in trouble for doing something different or trying something different. So I ended up missing out on a lot of things, including figuring out who I was, or what I liked, or what I was good at growing up. And what I did instead was I imagined things. I created stories in my head. And I'm very good at creating stories in my head. I'm very good at running away to something in my head, to whatever my fantasy is, to the perfect house that I want to build someday, if I ever have enough money for that, which will probably never happen. But I like to fantasize about it, or the perfect relationship, or whatever, because nothing in life is perfect. The impossible goals of getting, out of financial debt and being financially free, which may not be impossible, may be possible someday. But being able to actually live off of my writing or my YouTube videos or whatever it is would be amazing. But at the moment feels out of reach. Not entirely out of reach, though. Actually, it's starting to feel like it might be possible. I just need to start doing some marketing and some thumbnails and things like that. And it's kind of scary because it means putting myself out there. And I know I'm putting myself out there by doing these videos, but right now it's safe because there's I have 9 subscribers. Seriously, I have 9 people that know me that are watching my videos, and not even that many people are watching them. Like, most of my videos have 2 views. I know who one of them is, and I'm not entirely sure who the other one is that's watching all of my videos, but I don't even think all of my videos have 2 views on them. So, and sometimes I think I accidentally end up being one of those views because I click on something and end up watching my video, which I don't mean to do, but then it counts as a view. So I'm like, hey, cool. I never finish watching it anyway. But but that's a safe place for me to be, and I like to stay safe. I don't like to come out of my comfort zone. And so I was realizing yesterday and tonight that I hide behind this mask of, damsel in distress. I can't talk. Damsel in distress. I am the proverbial damsel in distress. I need someone else to come help me. I need someone else to do it for me. And then I don't get in trouble, because then they can do it. They can do it perfectly, and I can just step back and someone else will do everything. But there is no someone else in life that's going to come in and do everything for me, which frustrates me. And then I think that it sucks because I have spent my life trying to do for other people. And that never works, changing who I am to be for other people. I've learned that, had videos about that, not even going to go there. But now it's realizing that the only way I do things or accomplish things is I kind of come up with the idea and I start working on it. But as soon as I share it with someone else, I automatically expect that other shoe to drop, that the rug to be pulled out from underneath of me, to someone else to take over, to take credit for, or to come in and tell me I did it wrong or I didn't do it good enough. And so then I end up not finishing projects or things that I started because other people know about it. And then it's like, okay, but as long as I leave it unperfect or unfinished, then I can't be criticized for how it's done or not done. Then just people give up on me because they don't think I'm going to finish anything. I'm actually more inclined to finish things for other people if they ask me to do stuff specifically for them. But if it's stuff I'm doing for myself, I think people give up on me finishing whatever I say I'm going to do because I don't do stuff for me. I do it for other people. So ulterior motives there. It's like if they ask me to finish something, okay, I have to do it for someone else and I have to do it as best as I can. But if I'm doing it for myself, then I disappoint myself as much as everyone else does. And then I was remembering that I do some things, I get ideas, like when I decided to move from one state to another. And then I just kind of made all of the arrangements, transferred within the company, did all of that stuff. And then I told my family I was doing it. And then they got all upset about it. And when I was living with my grandmother, I decided to buy a house. And I went and talked to the realtor and did all of that stuff. And then my grandma found out about it. And she was, she was disappointed that I didn't share with her that I had bought a house. She wasn't disappointed that I was buying a house. Her only concern is that I wasn't finished with college and that I should finish college before I bought a house. But if I wanted to go ahead and buy the house, then I could buy the house. And she was happy for me. She just wished that I would have been willing to share it with her. And I realized that I hurt people by not sharing the process with them, by not telling them what I'm doing. But I don't share the process with people because I was hurt by sharing it with people. So it's kind of one of those, feels like a catch-22 sort of a thing. And right now, doing these videos is sharing my process with other people, is sharing my discoveries, my awarenesses, and feeling my emotions and learning stuff about myself, discovering things about myself, and realizing that my fears or reasons that I probably haven't done thumbnails or marketing or things like that is because then it puts my stuff out there for other people. It's sharing my process with the world and not just the 9 people that are subscribed to my channel or the 1 or 2 people that actually watch my videos. It is with, the world where I have absolutely no control over what people are going to think or going to say. And of course, my writer brain imagination tries to figure out the different things that people will say, and hopefully all positive things because I like the all positive things, but some not so positive things pop into my head too that people will say, and some other stuff pops into my head that's just, not good stuff. And I'm like, I don't want that stuff. I don't really want to deal with that stuff. That it may or may not come about. I have no idea. But I don't know what's going to happen. So it's that fear of the unknown. It's, not being able to hide behind everything and just kind of go off to the side and do whatever I'm going to do. And then when it's all done and go like, ta-da, I did it. Ta-da, I dropped out of school. Ta-da, I bought a house. Ta-da, I moved away. Ta-da, whatever it is. Ta-da, this is what I'm doing. I'm not doing that with these videos because I felt like last year I needed to start advertising, that whole promote before it's out there so that people are aware of me and my books and my writings so that when I finally do get published, that they've got something, building the anticipation. So I started doing that or trying to do that last year. It didn't work very well. And then I started doing these gratitude videos, which has been working really well because now I'm at day 62. And I have 38 days left to go. So yay for my 38 days to go. And I'm grateful for that. And I'm grateful that I can do these videos. I'm grateful that I can share this process. But it's scary. It's still a scary process for me. And I have to remember that it's progress, not perfection. And that I need to stop holding myself back because people know what I'm doing. And I know that seems kind of counterproductive, counterintuitive, whatever you want to call it, but it is because that's how I grew up, that when I told people what I wanted to do or told people what I was doing, I didn't know how to deal with all the slack. I didn't know how to deal with all of the flack that I got from people that telling me I wasn't going to like it, I wasn't going to enjoy it, and then being disappointed when I didn't do it. I was like, well, why aren't you going to do it? I thought you wanted to do that. I'm like, I thought you told me I wouldn't enjoy it. I thought you said I wouldn't like it. I thought you said it was a waste of my time. I don't understand. I'm so confused. Um, I was very confused a lot as a child. I'm still very confused. I'm easily confused as an adult. So that hasn't changed a whole lot. But I'm not around as many confusing people, and I'm surrounded myself with a lot more people now that are positive and encouraging and that want to see me succeed and are excited for me and are willing to help me with my process. And yes, they're all busy and they're, having the hard time maybe understanding my books. I don't know, but life is happening for them. So I'm kind of waiting somewhat impatiently for reviews on my books. And I've just kind of put everything else on hold. And I need to stop putting things on hold because I feel like as soon as I start doing my thumbnails and doing my online marketing and focusing on finishing my next sets of books, that things will start to happen. And I think that's what scares me the most is I feel like things are happening and things will start to happen. And the more that I do, the more good things will happen. And it's so opposite of how things have happened for me in my life. And I know at some points in my life, things like this have happened and they've just fallen into place and everything has clicked and it's been good. But I've been in a better emotional state, a better emotional place. Again, they were things that I was working towards, but they were things like buying a house. They were things like going back to school. They were things they were things like that. Even things like getting married, everything clicked and fell into place. Not so much with getting divorced, but different story. Or maybe the end of the story, bad ending to the happy beginning. I don't know, whichever way you want to look at it. But it has brought me to this point. All of the experiences that I've had, good, bad, positive, negative, whatever, have brought me to this point in my life. And it's trying to retrain my brain to dig out those old default settings that are just really embedded in there, to allow myself to open up to trust, to let other people see who I am, to let other people see what I'm doing, to follow through for me and not for them, see for myself what the end result is and not what other people think the end result is or how other people feel about things. So again, it's for me, and yes, it's kind of selfish, and I know I'm doing this video talking about for me, but everyone needs to do things for themselves, to feel good about themselves, to realize that you're a good person for who you are and what you like to do, but not everyone is going to agree with you. And you can't do things with the motivation for other people. I mean, you can, but then you have that expectation that someone else has to like what you're doing or that they approve of what you're doing. And when that expectation is not met, which oftentimes it's not, then you get resentful or you get disappointed. And in my case, I take it, as a self-esteem hit where there's something wrong with me. I'm a horrible person because they didn't like whatever it was that I did. And I was doing it to please them and I didn't get the reaction I wanted. So then there's something wrong with me. And that is totally twisted, messed up thinking. And I know that and I can see that, but I still think that way. I still feel that way. I think I feel that way more than I think that way. So it's an emotional response, an emotional reaction, and it's not the best emotional response or reaction. So it takes time. It's a process. It takes time to change that process. It's not an easy thing to do. It's not an easy thing to change, and it's not something I can change overnight. It's really not something I can change overnight. I wish it was. I really wish it was. But I am learning. I am aware of these things in my life. I am aware of these challenges that I am having. I am not thrilled with them. And they get in my way. And I can see what it is that's getting in my way. That old thinking, that old feeling that somehow I'm not good enough. And I wish I could just get rid of that thought in there entirely. Or that someone's going to come and take away whatever I'm doing. Or that it's all just going to fizzle away. And right now, I don't feel like it's going to fizzle away. I feel like it's just, I'm right on the brink of everything falling into place. And I'm hitting the brakes. And I'm like, it's right there. And all I have to do is take my foot off the brakes and gun it and go for it. And I am scared and I'm having a really hard time to just let myself go through the process. So I am grateful that I can share the process, at least with a couple of people, because it's kind of safe. And then hopefully at some point I will be brave enough to start adding thumbnails and start trying to figure out how to get these videos out to other people so that I can, possibly get money off of them. I don't know. That would be nice because then I would have more time to do other things and it would help me to get out of my debt a little bit faster. But if nothing else, it's just um, it's trusting. It's trusting God. It's trusting myself. It's learning how to open up and to just let go and let go of the outcome, let go of the illusion of being in control, and just see what happens because I have no idea. So it's an adventure. I am going on an adventure, basically, is what I'm doing. And it's exciting and scary and confusing and frustrating and just about every emotion that you can think of. It's all of the above. Um, but I'm grateful that I get to go on this journey. I'm grateful that I am willing to share this journey. I am hoping that this journey is helpful to other people as well as you watch this, that maybe it's something you've been through and you can relate to. Maybe it's something you're struggling with, and this is giving you hope that there is a way up, there is a way out, there is a light, there is a direction. And today, I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, but I was doing my writing and I remember that scripture about, don't hide a light under the bushel. And I kind of related that to myself. Of course, my first thought was, you hide the light under the bushel. It's a candle. It lights the whole candle on fire, and people come running, but they come running to put out the fire because I approached it the wrong way because the fire, is lit up like that. So they put it out, and then it's even darker because now there's no light whatsoever. And I think sometimes in my life I do that where I try to hide it, and then it just comes out, like with my grandmother and not telling her, and then she was disappointed and hurt. And like when I moved and realized years later that I had upset my sister and other family by doing that. So my choice is to hide it, and then it kind of catches on fire, blow up in my face because then it hurts people. And it didn't actually help me, even though, they all saw the fire eventually. They all saw the light, just not in a happy way. So there has to be another way. There's another choice. There's another option. And the better option is to come out in the open and to just hold the light and say, hey, this is what I'm doing. This is where I'm going. If you want to see, you can come follow me. And I know that's what the Savior says, is come follow him. And that he's given us gifts on their lights. There are ways to lead other people, to show them the positive way to go. And I feel like that was meant for me today, that my talents, my ability to share in these videos, my ability to write, these are things that I can share with other people. It's a light that I can hold up. It's not one I have to hide, because hiding doesn't really work at all. It means I either don't get things done whatsoever, and it's just in my head, my imagination as to how wonderful it's going to be one day, and will never happen because I will never do it. Or I go behind everybody's back and do it, and then whoosh, big huge fire explodes, and then everybody's mad at me. I get what I want, but they're all mad at me. Or a new approach, which is what I'm trying, where I share the process, I share what I'm doing, and I say, okay, look, this is what I'm doing, and I'm open to suggestion. I'm open to help. If somebody's got a brighter light than me, let me know so I know which way to go. And I appreciate the help. I am grateful for the help. I am grateful for the guidance. And I am a little scared, nervous. I guess overwhelmed is probably a good word for it too. I don't feel, I guess, ready or worthy to be the leader, to have people follow my light, but yet I have people that have told me in 12 steps, or when I give talks, or even these videos, granted there's only like 2 people watching them, maybe a few more, I don't know, I've had a few more views than that, but told that what I say resonates with them and they can relate to that and they're grateful for my sharing that, or they want to share what I've done with other people. So it's kind of scary that people, look to me sometimes, and that if I put this out there, if I do the thumbnails, if I do all of that, then people will be watching me even more closely than they already are. Like I'm going to be in a little fishbowl. And I don't really like that because I don't know how to handle the attention. And it's different this time because it's more positive attention. It's more people looking to see and I guess cheering me on, hoping that I will succeed. Because if I succeed, if I follow through in all of this, then I'm leaving a path behind for someone else to do the same. Because I've made it to 62 videos, someone else can make it to 62 videos. Someone else may surpass me in videos. Tons of people have done YouTube videos way more than I've done, so way surpassed. I will never catch up to those people. That's not what I mean. Someone may do gratitude longer than I do, may find something else that works better for them, may jump past me when it comes to like writing and doing the process because they know what they're doing. They can figure it out. They're faster at things than I am. They've always been very slow at doing things, but it's okay because slow and steady wins the race, right? I will get there eventually, and that is the goal, and that is the point. And people get to watch me on my journey, and it is a messy journey. So unlike the perfection viewed in my head that never happens, or the sneak behind everybody's back and whoosh, guess what, here it is. This is the in the middle, the messy, crazy, all around whatever process that I am going through to figure out who I am, to figure out what I like, to overcome my fears, to put myself out there, to share what I'm working on, to hopefully get my books published at some point, and all of the personal stuff that goes with it. So it's a crazy process. It's putting myself out there, and it's trusting in God that this is the right thing for me to do. It's being confident in myself to know that I can handle whatever attention or feedback I get. And if I can't handle it, God will help me handle it, because I don't want to give up on myself again. I've given up on myself way too many times. I have turned into the chameleon. I have tried to change who I am to be what other people want me to be. And it doesn't work because I can't actually change who I am. I think there's some things in me that are just, that's how God made me and that's how I'm supposed to be. But they're good things. They're not bad things. I just saw them as bad things because other people didn't like them. And I just means I was hanging out with the wrong people. I was looking for approval from people that couldn't give it to me or that didn't like what I liked. So they couldn't understand me. So we had that conflict, and I just always thought that meant there was something wrong with me. And there's nothing wrong with me. Well, maybe there's things wrong with me. I'm not perfect. But I am not internally wrong. I am not like so messed up or backwards and screwed up that I can't be fixed, that I can't progress. I can progress. I can do better. I can be better. I will not be perfect in this life, so I will always make mistakes. But making mistakes doesn't make me wrong. It doesn't make me a bad person. It doesn't make my ideas or things like, bad or terrible. Or, I don't deserve dirty looks from people like, oh, you thought that? What's wrong with you? Maybe make me crazy or insane. I might be a little bit of that, but I enjoy it. And I am learning to enjoy my life, and I am grateful for the things that I have, for the blessings that I have, and grateful that I can discover things about myself that I haven't discovered before, and that I can start to see that things that I thought were not good about me are good, and that I don't have to hide. I don't have to hide my process, and I don't have to worry about someone coming in and taking things away, because I feel like things are going in a positive direction and things are going to work out. I just need to be willing to do the work, and I need to stop, take my foot off the brakes and hit the accelerator and just run with it and go with it and see where it goes. And that free inhibition that I had as a child with no inhibition, I guess, just free and wanted to try everything. And I wasn't allowed to then, and now I am allowed to, and I'm scared. And I'm just like, I don't know if this is safe. I'm going to hold back and see what happens. But the only one that's keeping me from succeeding, the only one that's keeping me from from making my goals is me. And right now I am doing, and it's interesting to change instead of saying I'm trying, I'm doing this. I have done 62 days worth of videos. I have written 2 books that I have sent to people that I am waiting for responses so that I can revise again and maybe a couple of times before I get them edited and published. I have a friend that is working on book covers for me that look awesome. I'm so excited about having them finished. I I am doing this. This is going through. It's just taking longer than I thought, but everything always takes longer than I think that it will. But God is there and He is guiding me, and it is okay, and I will be okay, and this process will work. And I am grateful that this process will work. I am grateful that I can do this. And I am grateful for the people that are choosing to watch these videos. And I hope that they're helping in some fashion or other. And I am grateful and humbled by the idea that I have a light to shine for other people to see in my writing and in my YouTube videos. And that I can lead the way for other people as other people have led the way for me. And I am grateful that I have that light of Christ in me. And I'm grateful that He's given me these talents to share with other people. And I'm grateful that He's helping me to see them as gifts and talents and not as things to be hidden and not as things to be afraid of. So, still a little bit scary with doing that. Still not entirely sure why God has chosen me to do this. But starting to feel like maybe this is my purpose in life and this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And this is a good thing, not a bad thing. And I am grateful that this is a good thing and this is a positive direction. And I hope that what I am doing is helpful to other people, or that you get some kind of entertainment or enjoyment from it. And I'm just grateful that I can do this. So I'm just full of gratitude right now, which is good. That's the whole point of these videos. So 38 more days and then we'll go from there. So I hope you have a day full of gratitude. Thank you.